Hello, we're live. And what an episode. We saw things we've never seen in Love Island before. It was yeah, groundbreaking episode. Wow. I'm really, really impressed. I didn't think this series was shaping up to be as much as it is now giving us on this. I mean, it's always the best episode, okay? The Casa, Amor recoupling. So I'm surprised they gave it to us all. They gave us an extra long episode, called me out again. But yeah, wow, what absolute scenes. I will try and go through it sort of chronologically, but there's just kind of little bitty morning bits, and then we get to the recoupling. So yeah, we wake up in the morning with in Casa Amor with the boys, and it's kind of pleasant, whatever what happens, and then over in Casa Amor with girls. Martin tells the boys that basically him and Tanya had a kiss in bed, and the way Bailey celebrates actually made me like him. Not that we got to see much more of him, but yeah, it actually was like I was like, okay, Bailey. Maybe I misjudged him and just wrote him off because of his horrendous tattoos. But oh well. And we got a little clip of Jessie, and I am from this episode. I have to say, okay, I get it now. Jessie is genuine. Like, I've been such a Jessie hater, but I just, from the emotions we saw from her this episode, this is what I'm talking about. They had a little moment in the morning where she was just really missing you, and I was like, okay, she's worn me down, and I actually believe it. And yeah, we will get to it. Ron is on Tom's shoulder about bringing Lydia back, and it's a bizarre line of conversation because Ron is clearly just exposing himself as the game player he is, and Tom doesn't have it. He's given it all the you should just bring her back just in case, because then there's no harm done really. And I don't know, is Tom now is Ron now being the Jake of like trying to make other people recouple so that he looks better? Maybe, because in the end we didn't get that many recouplings, and maybe Ron was scared of that happening, diluting the power of him and Lana. I totally forgot to talk about Ron and Lana yesterday. I kept saying I was going to, and then never actually got around to it. So we will cover them when we get to their recoupling and all my thoughts. And then we get a little bit more of Casey and Cynthia, and from what we then see happen in the recoupling, it's a bit like, I don't know, maybe they were trying to make more of it so it was more dramatic later, but it just, I never really bought it. And this conversation was like, okay, maybe he is really into her. And then, maybe that was what it was for, to make the recoupling more dramatic. Yeah, we get a little bit of Kai possibly having got carried away in bed with Sanam. But yeah, I think there is genuine chemistry there. Like, I'm actually impressed with their little bit of chat. I thought was actually more genuine chemistry than I've seen Kai have with anybody. So, I guess I'm buying it. And oh yeah, and then we got a little clip just before the text comes through of Tanya saying something about to the girls, saying, "Oh, in the main villa, I love Shaq, but here, girl, it doesn't work that way. Like, you can't love someone in a certain location and then all of a sudden the love evaporates." Like, I don't know whether she is actually believing that, or she thinks we're gullible enough to go along with. I really don't understand like why she's speaking that thought process, because it doesn't work like that, girl. Like, come on. Yeah, that's crazy. But, her and Martin clearly are really into each other. And, you know, I'm just not sure I love them as a couple. But, like, that's clearly them being true to themselves. So go right ahead. Like, fair enough. Yeah, absolutely. Then we get the text come through that there's going to be a recoupling tonight, and we're straight into getting ready. Like, this episode, there is basically no daytime. It's all just right. Okay, gearing up for the big show, on what's about to happen. When Shaq knows it's go time, he gives it some big talk about not taking her back if she comes through. Like, I don't know with if this was like producer prodded because who's putting the idea in his head that she will. Like, I feel like from his perspective, unless he's like already suspicious of it, maybe he was, that she would recouple because he didn't trust her from her behavior and like that he didn't like in previous challenges. Yeah, that could be it, but I was just like, why are you bringing it up? Like, it's so foreshadowy and like produced. Yeah, that sat a little funny with me, but I think he's stuck true to his word though, so absolutely fair enough to him. And also you get a little clip of Tanya saying that she's scared. So I just thought that was funny. And literally we get right to it. Maya walks in looking incredible. Do you know what it is about Maya Jama? And the reason she's so much like all the boys love her, and it's like, why is she so much hotter than all these super hot women who are here? It's because we're watching her do her job well. Like, she's really talented at presenting and we get to watch her do it, and that talent is sexy, and Maya just absolutely slays whenever she's on screen. So I think it's just elevating her presence, and it's so lovely to see that when she walks into the villa. We get a little bit of chit chat with Maya talking to the boys, and they're all going on about being tested, and the Casa girls don't like that. This test thing, what are they talking about? And I get it, like I really do get it, because it's a bit, it's always has been a bit icky to talk about these other human beings as a test for your relationship. Like, that is a bit icky. So it's a tough one to wrangle, because that's the language that these boys have learned from all the previous recouplings they've ever seen on Love Island, you know. So I don't know how what the boys could say in that situation. Like, there is definitely a better way to put it, to say I don't know, because it is sleazy, like to do it in the first place, but that's the mechanic of this show. It's so funny. And that's why we love it. But yeah, it does make me feel a bit. I mean, this episode just makes you feel bad for the Casa girls, because yeah, they did kind of just get a bit of a bum deal, really. But anyway, so we get into it. Casey goes first, and I really thought he was gonna pick Cynthia, and I'm really disappointed that he didn't, just because I love Cynthia. However, I do think that like how it played out on the show clearly shows that Casey and Claudia are good together. Cynthia was great. I really, really wish she'd like been an original. She's got such a great personality. Like, I really could have had her from the beginning, or at least be an early bombshell. Yeah, it doesn't really make sense to me why she was wasted on Casa Amor. It's a real shame, and she stood out far and beyond all the rest of the Casa girls. Although, like, the rest of them were pretty good, she just clearly was the standout for me. Yeah. Having said that, Casey and Claudia, when they came back together, and there was trying to be a bit of bickery drama between Cynthia and Claudia, and Claudia was well able to just back herself up and be like, no, we're not having this bit of an argument. Like, I've just met you and let's keep it chill. But she immediately forgave Casey. Like, and fair, because he really had no loyalty to her, but he chose her over a connection. Like, he basically did get to know Cynthia as well as he got to know Claudia, pretty much equally. Like, they had a couple of kisses together each, and spent a few days together, and he chose Claudia. Fair enough. Like, yes, Claudia didn't kiss Bailey, but she didn't really have anything there with him, clearly, like she said. So yeah, it is what it is with them, and now they have a chance to build something strong, and I'm here for it, to be honest. Like, I wish it didn't have to be at the expense of losing Cynthia, but I'm happy to watch them get closer. And yeah, it was edited to be a bit of a Millie Liam situation, but there was an even worse one coming, so it was kind of just like a, yeah, fine, they'll be fine. Um, we go on to Kai next, and he picks Sanan. And again, like I said, like they are cute together, but I still struggle to care about Kai, and I'm going to struggle to care about them as a couple going forward. Clearly, there's still going to be drama with Liv. I wrote, what did I write? Kai is scared, but he's also like buzzing when Liv comes back with a other boy. He's like, yeah, cool, I'm off the hook for you. Nice. And so Liv comes back to someone else, and I said, Liv picks Max, so she can't be mad, right? Yeah. I mean, how did we know that Liv was going to still turn the situation into a melodrama about herself? Like, of course, but it's really, really funny how everybody else reacts like they're totally over Liv. She's too much, and Kai's like, I don't get it, and all the lads are like, what, you recoupled? And yeah, it is ridiculous. She brings up the Casa boys made her see what the public were seeing in Kai, like, oh my god, she's clinging to anything. She's ridiculous. She's actually fully ridiculous. And it's yeah, it's quite funny. Right. Then and her and Max also, I just don't really care. They're gonna drag out this drama and keep arguing about it between her and Kai. And maybe they'll end up get back together. I really don't care. Then we move on to Ron and Lana. And okay, they didn't get the prime placement. They could have been placed like right at the end where in the end we got Shaq and Tanya, but for like the wholesome moment, or they could have been right at the beginning for whatever. But they went in the middle to be. They were actually the only two that both completely stayed loyal on each side, and this is my thing. I can't watch this storyline again. Like the guy that plays away and does the dirty. This time it happened pre Casa Amor, but it's sort of the same thing we've seen before when it actually happens in Casa Amor, and they forgive the guy and just take him back and go on to win. Like I'm bored of it. I can't be bothered, and everything that Ron says gives me the ick. He said a couple of episodes ago, it might have been just last episode, about when they were doing the challenges, it must have been 2 episodes ago, that, oh, I want to win this challenge, but I don't like that Lana's taking part in this challenge. Like, how do you do the mental gymnastics to make you think that's an okay thing to say? Hear yourself. It's not okay. If you want to do something and you're saying, but I don't like that she's doing it, just look in a mirror, dude. Come on. Not okay. Everything he says, I'm just like, Ron, no. And maybe it's because I liked him early on and I'm just having a stronger reaction, but I just can't do it. And yeah, I'm not here for it. And I just think Love Island really wants them to be a thing and come together and go on to win. There are other candidates for that, thankfully, but and I don't really think there is a super strong front runner this season. But if there is one, it probably is them, and I can't be bothered with it. But anyway, they do get a big build up that makes me think Love Island producers want them to at least make the final, and they probably will. I think they probably will. Then we move on to Tom picking Sammy, and Sammy picks Tom. I love how she handled this. It was another bit of a Millie Liam situation. What I mean by that is where they come back single, but all the boys know a secret that they've actually played away. Again, the biggest one somehow is Will that comes after this, but this is still a bit of a and the way Sammy handles it is absolutely incredible. Like, yes, she entertained Ryan, but clearly not in the same way as Tom entertained Lydia. And she is everything I love about Sammy, is that she's just straight up, straight to the point, and not scared to express her emotions, not even unsure about what her emotions are. She knows how she feels about this, and she's confident in expressing it. And You can't hate her for it. I am, yeah, I think I'm falling for Sammy. Like, Tom's a fool. Tom is an absolute fool. Um, but he was being true to himself and following his heart or whatever and finding where it led. But as Sammy said, you don't need to kiss and cuddle to actually figure out if you like somebody. She figured out she had the ick for Ryan, which I managed to miss in yesterday's review. Like, I must have missed that in the episode that she actually said she had the ick with him. So she was never going to bring him. Yeah, I don't know. I think they probably will work on it and come back to, and she'll forgive him, just because that's, again, the way these things go in Love Island. But I hope she at least puts up like a good front and expects him to grovel for it, which we haven't like really seen done properly in Love Island before. So that might be fun to watch. So yeah, then oh yeah, and also, who is it? Layla, the one who was with Will, like completely pipes up in this section and like talks for Lydia, because Lydia's clearly just like chill about it, like, yeah, cool, like he thought that connection was better. I wish them the best. And Lydia was like, Tom, I think what you meant to say is that you thought there was a connection there, like running a mouth, and Will can't handle it. He's like really cringing because he clearly can't handle being involved with somebody who is that dramatic and okay with causing scenes, because he clearly is super uncomfortable for what is about to happen. And oh yeah, Liv makes a stupid comment about Tom about how a leopard doesn't change his spots, and Sammy's not impressed by it. I mean, that's the way the reaction was edited. Who knows? She could have been reacting to anything, but I just thought that was funny that Liv had to get a little snide remark in there, and everybody's over Liv. Everybody's over Liv. I just can't be bothered with it, and I'm glad that the other Islanders are seeing that too. Then we kind of move on to what was groundbreaking TV for Love Island. This recoupling with Will and Jesse, I have never seen especially a man, but really any Love Island contestant be this vulnerable during any or any part of Love Island. You could see his emotions like were so genuine, and I just right. He was so nervous to do it as well, but I really give him props for not just putting a brave face on it and doing it, in a sort of bravado sort of way. He was able to be his true self through his nerves. I just absolutely bless him. I cannot be mad at him, because he's too angry at himself, and I think Jesse's going to struggle with that as well. But he's so angry at himself that I actually can't be mad at him. Like, even though what like he did, just as we were saying about Tom, like he didn't have to kiss her to realize. I just can't be mad at Will. Yeah, and Jessie's emotion when she came back, yeah, it did really convince me that she's genuine about her feelings for Will. Like, unless she is an incredible actress, which, crazy things have happened on Love Island. But yeah, she clearly has genuine emotion for the guy, and the way that she reacted to the news when he actually finally did break it to her. The lead up to it was absolutely agonizing. It was worse than Millie and Liam. It's the worst we've ever seen. The agonizingness of, oh, are they? Is he going to tell her? Like, how is he going to tell her? Everybody else knows because he made the comment previously in like the little speech he made before Jessie came back. So all the girls, the original girls, knew what had happened, as well as all the original boys having been there with him. Everybody knew, and Jessie's coming back, and everybody's cringing because of like little comments she's saying about him being loyal. And then he finally does tell her, and the emotion. Like, it's really emotional. They both cry before he tells her, and then he tells her, and then it's like complete mood change for Jessie, obviously. And she's saying, I have no words to say. Absolutely fair enough. Like, this is such a big moment, and they clearly are not the people who want to over dramatize and have a melodrama in public about things. Like, this is clearly really emotional and personal for them, and they'd really rather not have it done in front of the cameras and all of their new mates. Um, so yeah, it was incredible television. I was absolutely hooked. And this is what Love Island is about. Is this? I'm fully bought in. Genuine love. That that they clearly have for each other, and the genuine hurt that Will's actions have caused. So yeah, it was something I've never seen on Love Island before. That, like I say, that genuine um, emotion and vulnerability in from both of them. Actually, I mean, we have seen it from girls before um, sometimes, but from both parties in a couple to actually be able to do that in a recoupling was amazing. And I do think they probably will work through it, but in what I can only imagine to be a really mature way, because they both seem to be handling this like with real emotions. Um, and then last, which I was like not expecting, I was like, okay, we're gonna get Tanya and Shaq next time. No, there's an extra 20 minutes on the episode. Okay, cool. So we're doing it. Shaq and Tanya. And Shaq obviously has the whole recoupling speech about how much he's loyal and wants to stay with Tanya. And then it is a bit heartbreaking. Like, it really is. I'm just like, oh, oh, Shaq. Um, they're not right together though. Like, it's quite clear from Tanya's point of view that she had already dropped him sort of before she went to Casa and was completely open to Martin. Anyway, she comes back in with Martin, and it is really impressive again how Shaq holds himself. He's got so much integrity and is completely calm, and he doesn't get angry. When when Maya said, "Oh, how are you feeling?" I was expecting he maybe would say, "I feel angry." He didn't. He had so much dignity and humility with what he was saying, and he was able again to be honest with how he was feeling about the situation and to say, I'm done with it. And Tanya was really trying to leave the door open and say, well, we're back here now, we were all meant to explore. And he's like, no, I'm done. And Martin was not looking, he was looking a bit confused when she was talking about that. I do think, as I said at the beginning of the episode, that Tanya and Martin are a better couple. They have more chemistry. Yeah, I think Shaq has been such a big character this season, and we've not always loved every move he's made. He has been a bit too involved in other people's business and whatever. But I think he's been really amazing on the show. He has he really given his all, like thrown in with like wanting to be in love, like and giving all of himself to this show, and I can't be anything but impressed by Shaq, really. And we'll see how it goes, but I do think it's the end of Shaq and Tanya. So at the end of the episode, only one Casa girl made it back and two Casa boys, and it's got to be such a raw deal for those poor people who are literally there for 5 days and just get their 15 seconds of fame, and then it's see you later. There's the door and a EasyJet flight home. Like, yeah, I do feel bad for them, but and yeah, there's a few that I think I'm really gonna miss. Oh, my laptop is dying, so I better wrap this up quick. Yeah, I'm obviously, as I've gone on and on about, really gonna miss Cynthia. Thought she was great. Lydia as well, and Layla, also great characters. And I think from the boys, I did really like Ryan. And the rest of them didn't super impress me that much, to be honest. But yeah, some people I'm wishing we could have seen a little bit more of, but it's been a really good cast for Amor. I think it's given us everything we really could have asked for it to, plus more. And yeah, what a shock with Will. Scenes we've never seen before. And yeah, I'm loving Love Island this year. So we will eagerly wait for more. I'm working for the next couple of nights, so I'll see when I can go live again. But until then, I will obviously let you know when that can be. Yeah. Until then, yeah. Any comments, suggestions, feedback, put it down below in the comments. And I will speak to you all next time. See you later, and bye.